Welcome y'all to Robin on the Farm. Today I'm going to show you how to make a loaf of bread in a Pullman pan. More specifically, a 9-inch Pullman pan. Now, not just any loaf of bread, I'm going to show you how to make my farmhouse white bread in this 9-inch Pullman pan. If I had to choose one loaf of bread that is my absolute favorite, it's that one. So I'm going to show you how to make my favorite recipe in a Pullman pan. Now, I've shown you how to make this recipe in a 13-inch Pullman pan, and I just wanted to show you the size difference. So this is the 13-inch, this is the 9-inch. The 13-inch is great for larger families, or if you just want to make a loaf of bread and have it last all week, that works great. But this 9-inch is a really great sized loaf. Now, this is a 9 by 4 by 4 inch with the lid. Now, if you've never seen a Pullman pan before, it has straight sides and it has the lid, and the loaf is going to rise all the way to the top. And when you bake it and turn it out, you're going to have a really nice rectangular, flat-topped loaf of bread. So it's really great for sandwiches, fits great in the toaster. It's a really fun thing to make, especially if you're used to always making breads with the domed top. I like that. That's an old-fashioned look. But these flat top ones are fun to make. My farmhouse white bread only has 6 ingredients, super simple to throw together, and it is so yummy. Now I'm going to use my Nutrimil Artiste mixer. You can use any stand mixer that you want, or you can even make this by hand if you'd rather do that. You can even use your bread machine dough cycle if you'd like to do that. So I'm going to get started with some warm water. You want this to be lukewarm, about 100 to 110 degrees, and this is 1 1/3 cups. So just pour 1 1/3 cups right on into your stand mixer. Now we want some sugar. I'm adding a 1/2 cup of sugar. This is a little bit of a sweet loaf, and it's good. Now you can reduce the sugar a little bit if you want to, but that's what makes this recipe so good. You can also use a 1/2 cup of honey or maple syrup or coconut sugar. Anything you want to use will work just fine in this recipe. Now I'm going to add the yeast. I'm going to add 2 1/2 teaspoons of this SAF instant yeast. You can also use active dry yeast in this recipe. I like to buy my yeast in bulk like this, and I store it in the freezer. And I open up a package of it, I get it out right in time to make bread. And this is the package that I have open right now, so I'm using a lot of instant yeast. But you want 2 1/2 teaspoons to sprinkle that right on top of your water and your sugar. Now I'm going to add some melted butter. This is 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Mine is salted. You can use unsalted just fine, but I'm adding 3 tablespoons right on in there. Or you can use 3 tablespoons of any kind of oil that you'd like to use. The butter is going to give you a richer tasting bread. The oil is going to give you a little bit softer, more tender, more moist bread. So you can use either one. I switch off with this recipe and both work great. Now it's time for some flour. I'm going to use bread flour today. You can also use all-purpose flour, but I'm going to use 3 3/4 cups of this bread flour. I'm going to add it right on in here. Now we may need up to 4 cups of flour. It just depends on the climate, the weather, the humidity. So many things will depend on how much flour you need. But start with 3 3/4 cups. That could be plenty, but you might have to add a little bit more once it gets kneading. So 3 3/4 cups. Now, I'm going to leave you the printable recipe down in the description and on my website, robinonthefarm.com. I'll leave you this recipe in grams too, if you'd rather make this in grams. Okay, 3 3/4 cups to start with. Now it's time to add some salt. This is already our very last ingredient. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of this Redmond's real salt. This is the salt that I like to use, but you can use plain old white table salt. You can use the pink Himalayan sea salt, whatever you'd like to use. But 1 teaspoon right on in to your mixer with everything else. And that's already all of our ingredients for our farmhouse white bread made in a 9-inch Pullman pan. I'm going to go ahead and shut this lid, and I'm going to get this mixing and kneading. I'm going to let this mix up for about a minute, and then I'm going to look at my dough and see if I need to add any more flour. If it's too wet and sticky, I'll add some more flour. If it's looking dry or crumbly by any chance, then you can add a little bit more water. I'll show it to you then. Now I'm just checking on my ball of dough, It's not sticking to the sides or to the bottom. It's not looking dry or crumbly. I like to touch it, make sure it doesn't stick to my hands. Now I know that my dough looks good. It's not too wet. If yours is a little bit too wet, add about 1/8 of a cup of flour more at a time and try to get it to look more like this. But mine is perfect at 3 3/4 cups of flour. Time to get this kneading. Now that I know that my dough looks good, I'm gonna let this knead for 8 minutes. My dough has been kneading for 8 minutes. Now, I normally just shut the lid and let this rise, but I'm gonna show you my dough today. So I'm just gonna pull it out of here and we will check it out together. Oh, this is such nice dough. Look at that. It's nice and smooth. It's stretchy. The gluten has been developed and it feels really good. It's definitely not dry. It's tacky, but not too sticky. Can tell it's going to make a really nice loaf of bread. Now it's time to let this rise. You can put this in an oiled bowl covered with a warm wet tea towel or with some saran wrap. I'm just going to go ahead and put it right back in here. No need to get out another bowl and make more dishes for me to do. But I'm going to shut this lid and I'm going to let this rise right here on my countertop for about 45 minutes to an hour. You want this to get puffy, expanded, not necessarily doubled in size, but definitely bigger, puffier, and more expanded than it is right now. And I'll show this to you in about 45 minutes to an hour. Now, the temperature of your home is going to make the biggest difference for how long it takes to rise. Yours might even take a little bit longer than an hour, but I'll show you exactly what it should look like when it's ready. The dough has been rising for right at an hour, and now it's time to get it out of this bowl and get it put into our Pullman pan. Let me show you how good this dough looks. You can see that it's definitely puffy and expanded. It looks great. So I'm going to turn it out from my mixing bowl. Oh, it feels so good. This dough really feels great. Okay. Now press out your dough really well. You want to get all of those little air bubbles out of it. Don't be afraid to really squish it out a lot. Now I like to take my loaf pan and kind of look at my dough. I want to get my dough about as wide as my loaf pan is long, and this looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off my loaf pan. You can see inside. Something that I love about the USA pans is that they're non-stick. You don't have to grease them up or anything, and the bread does not stick at all. So these are really nice. They're really heavy, really high quality. I like them. Okay, so I'm going to take this dough and I'm going to just shape it into a loaf. I'm just going to pull down on it and roll it into a nice tight log. There's lots of different ways you can shape your dough. Just make it really easy and just roll it into a log. That will work just fine. Okay, once you get it all rolled together, pinch those seams together really well. Pinch them together, pinch them together. Okay, pat it out a little bit. Okay, this looks great. Now, I'm just going to plop this into my loaf pan. Now, we are going to put the lid on it, and we're not looking for it to get domed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down on my dough and make sure it fills the corners and the edges really well, because you want this to be nice and square. I'm going to slide this on. I'm going to leave it open a little bit so I can see it. And I'm going to let this rise for about 30 minutes. Might take a little bit longer, but I'm definitely going to check it out 30 minutes. And I want this to be risen to within about 1 inch to 1.5 inches lower than the top of this pan. If you let it overrise, then that's not good, and you might want to bake it without the lid on it. But I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to try to catch it at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the top, and then I'll know that it's time to put this in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven pretty soon to 350 degrees so that when this is right, I'm going to throw it right on in there. I will show this to you in about 30 minutes or when it's time to throw this in the oven. It's been 30 minutes and this is what my dough looks like. I think this looks great. It's about 1 inch, maybe 1.25 inches from the top of the loaf pan. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this into the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees and I'm going to let this bake for 30 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the top all the way on it. Now as you put this in the oven to bake, it's going to continue to rise. So the goal is for it to rise all the way to the top, hit the top of the loaf pan, and get a nice square top. So that's the hope. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. I'll show it to you when it's done. Okay, I haven't even peeked at this yet. Oh yes, look at that. It's not stuck to the lid or anything like that. So that means that it didn't rise too long and we didn't have too much dough in the pan either. No bread, no dough stuck on the inside of the loaf pan. Oh, look at this. This is pretty. Do you see this perfectly rectangular, just totally flat on the top and on the bottom, on the sides? That is exactly what you want to see. But I am just gonna cover it with a tea towel, and this will give you a nice soft crust. I love fresh homemade bread that's nice and warm. Oh, look at this. Now look at that perfectly square piece of bread. Has a nice fine crumb, great texture. It's perfect for making sandwiches, fits in the toaster really well. It's really, really soft on the inside, has a really nice fine crust. It's not very thick. Oh, I love this farmhouse bread. This is what I like to store my homemade breads in. These are our handmade beeswax bread bags, and I wanted to show you how big they are. These are 11.5 by 17 inches. They're nice and big. You can fit 2 loaves of bread in these. These are a great alternative to plastic bread bags. They're 100% cotton, saturated in organic beeswax. And me and my daughters make these together, and we would love to send you one. You can find these on our website, robinonthefarm.com, and I'll also leave the printable recipe for you to print this off and make this bread. I'll also leave you the recipe for a 13-inch Pullman loaf pan if you'd rather make this recipe in the bigger loaf. Thanks so much for being here with me on Robin on the Farm. Give this bread a try and let me know if you like it.
Robin's in the kitchen, dough beneath her hands, wheat from the fields and eggs from her land. Sunlight through the window, a warm golden glow. She's working hard to make that dough. With flour on her apron, loving each need. Ground wheat fresh, sowing her seed. The smell of fresh bread right